Hey everybody, Tim Kraus again. I'm coming to you with another update about the Golden Dawn and Isaac Noriega and Ray Aguirre situation. I wanted to let you know I got some information yesterday and I was so angry. I'm very, very proud of my wife for walking me back from the edge of the cliff and not having me do the video yesterday. I was so angry that I really wanted to launch out and do the video. She was very, very wise, and she asked me not to do that and to wait for a day. So here we are today in a calmer, new age sensitive 90s peaceful kind of way to talk about this update. I wanted to give everybody a heads up and first of all some reminders, okay? When I spoke to Ray Aguirre on the two times that I've spoken with him, there were several assertions made by Ray. One of those assertions is, Isaac Noriega doesn't know anything about you, Tim, doesn't know who you are, nobody in our assembly listens to your videos. Isaac never said any of those things, even about the snake and the quail. Isaac doesn't know anything about you, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I wanted to give everybody a little bit of an update. Previously, Ray had also said that Isaac didn't know anything about me, but he had contacted Ed Biscoe, and Ed Biscoe couldn't remember anything about me. Turns out that that's not exactly the truth. As a matter of fact, that's not the truth at all. I let Ray know, and I said this in previous video, I understand that Golden Dawn audio tapes its sermons or its messages, and we have an opportunity, should we go to discovery in terms of a legal situation, we have an opportunity to subpoena those audio tapes. But Ray, you don't have to be concerned about that. Obviously, somebody in your assembly listens to my videos. I was forwarded by an anonymous person the complete audio of the 27th of April sermon where, in fact, Isaac Noriega speaks about the snake and the dove. And I'm going to play excerpts from that audio tape for you here in just a little bit. What it's going to demonstrate is that it's pretty clear if you listen to that audio that Isaac Noriega does at least know who I am. Let's address for a moment the situation where Isaac got a hold of Ed Biscoe. It's interesting because Isaac Noriega knows nothing about me, doesn't know anything about me, doesn't have any idea who I am, and yet, of all the message churches, now I'm an American, of all of the message churches in North America, Isaac Noriega chose to call a minister in Canada to talk about who I am. Just that one, apparently, just pulled it out of the air. That's the one I need to talk to, Eddie Biscoe's church. Turns out that Ed didn't tell him that I wasn't that he couldn't remember me. It turns out that Ed told him that I was not a minister during the time I was at Cloverdale. And Ed is right. I was not a message minister ever, and never represented myself to be one. And in fact, if you listen to the offtheshelf.life podcast where I am interviewed, I walk through that situation, and that's at offtheshelf.life. Okay? It's a couple of parts or three-part interview. If you listen to that podcast, you'll discover that I didn't attend theological seminary until after I left the message. And frankly, as a result of leaving the message, because I wanted to know more about God, and was ordained as a result of attending that seminary. But so let's clear that up right away. I never represent that I was a message minister, because I just wasn't. But for Ray to say Ed Biscoe didn't even know who you are is patently untrue. Or how would anybody have known? And Isaac didn't know who I am enough to he just divined it, pulled it out of the air that I attended Cloverdale Bible Way Ed Biscoe's church. Isn't that interesting? Didn't know who I am, though. Isaac doesn't know who I am. Also, the audio, now Ray has denied the fact that Isaac ever said anything about the snake and the quail. Didn't mention me by name. Leading up to the point where he talks about the snake and the quail, Isaac talks about a picture, a photograph that he has seen. I'm going to play that segment as well. He has seen the photograph of me and some of the folks, former Message Assembly members from Golden Dawn. He's received that photo or seen that photo, and he talks a lot about that photograph, and he associates me with that photograph, and he associates the person in that photograph, which is me, he associates the person in that photograph as the person who is the snake in the example of the snake and the quail. So Ray, I want to give you a heads up and let you know, you don't need to worry about destroying that audio tape, okay? Because I have a copy of that sermon. And I'm going to play you excerpts from the audio of the recording that I received. And you're going to see where he talks about the photograph, and then he relates that person in the photograph, who is me, he's going to relate that person in the photograph as the snake in the quail and the snake example. So Ray asked me in our last conversation, why don't you believe me, Tim? Why do you believe them? Why do you believe other people? Well, Ray, because you've said some things now that are proven not to be credible. They are proven not to be correct. And that's why I have the concern, Ray. And that's why, short of you guys having my wife and I into your assembly so that you can apologize over the pulpit for things that have been said by the staff or ministry of Golden Dawn concerning incarceration, potential allegations of sexual misconduct, and kidnapping people at Golden Dawn, if that doesn't occur before the 28 days is up, that is the 23rd of May, okay, then we will be proceeding with other discovery sorts of remedies, and we will be moving forward. But so this, Ray, is why I don't have confidence in what you tell me when you say, but Isaac doesn't know anything about you, Tim. He never said any of those things. It's clear, Ray, that he did say those things. Now, I don't know whether it was Isaac that mentioned, as an example, the incarceration or the sexual allegations, the allegations of sexual misconduct. I don't know whether it's he who said those things. I don't know who within the staff and ministry said those things, but we will do the discovery in order, and that's what discovery is about, in order to discover the truth as it relates to that. Matthew 18 tells us, go see somebody. And Ray, you've done a really good job of making sure that I cannot go and talk to Isaac. Barring me being able to go to talk to Isaac, I will present more than 2 witnesses that tell me that these things have been spread around Golden Dawn. Obviously, Ray, your assertion that nobody in your assembly listens to my videos is absolutely incorrect. I received the audio from somebody who was sitting in that sermon, listening to that moment, and I'm very grateful for them having sent that audio to me anonymously. So, just wanted to give you a heads up, Ray. When you tell me those things, it is without credibility. Okay? So let's go ahead and listen to the audio, and then we'll finish this up. Here's Ray. This is Isaac on the 27th. I'm going to play some clips. I'm just going to edit it. I put the entire audio on my Google Drive. I'll leave a link to the description. You can listen to the entire sermon. We didn't edit anything together. We didn't make the clips sound different. We didn't do any of that. The entire audio will be available on my Google Drive so that you can make sure we didn't do anything nefarious or anything of that nature. We're just going to take extracts because we can't do a YouTube video that's 2.5, 3 hours long. But we absolutely did take pieces of that sermon, and we'll talk about that, and we'll play those pieces for you. But the entire sermon, if you want to listen to it, down in the description block, just to make sure that I didn't do anything nefarious, so that you understand where the quotes come from, or where the extracts come from, and you can see that we didn't clip anything together or do anything nefarious. It's all available for you in that audio. So let's go ahead and listen to some of that, and then we'll come back. Here we go.
But now, in this little thing that they got together with, all of a sudden now they're reading the Bible. They take off to go in the world, and the parent is real proud, telling me, "Oh, she took her Bible with her." Well, she's had her Bible all the time at home. What does that mean, she took her Bible? She left the Word. She left the revelation of the hour. Not because I brought it, because God brought it. God is bringing it. It's in messages, it's in word. I know what He did for me, and I know what He did for many of you here. So we know that they didn't leave a church. They left God. They can pack the Bible, they can read it, they can tell you this thing, the other, and all kinds of things. Brother, but they left God, and they're blinded, because the God of this evil, you're going to see the God of this evil nation blinded them. And they're blind as can be. We're not dealing with people that just went out in the world. A conspiracy is what the Lord showed me. Finally came to me. It was a conspiracy. They went from one thing. They even had a plan how they were going to leave. How they would leave and how they would do it. They had it all planned. It was a conspiracy. Because they enter into conspiracy. And Satan has a conspiracy in the whole world. And when he starts finding out who the bride is, because he's going to see how the bride will stand, he'll come around. But he can't do nothing with the bride, because the bride will stand on her testimony, and the bride doesn't care about her life. The bride just cares about honoring God and living for God and doing what God tells her. The bride does not compromise. The bride will not compromise. I'm not feeling sorry for myself. I'm not feeling sorry for this or the other. I'm just asking God, allowing God to tell you what these people have. They can say all they want to. They don't dare to speak with me. They don't dare to come to me. And many of you raised them against the ministry. Not so much. Some of you said things against the ministry in front of them. You talked against the deacons. You spoke against them and said things to them. Or you kept them away always from the ministry. You kept them away from getting advice. To come to them as they were young. When they were young. No, you're going to figure it out. Now you want them to talk to the pastor. You would like for them to speak to them, but they won't do it. Why God brought me this way, I do not know. I am just wanting to tell you this, that we are under attack, and we're not here to fight with this one and argue with this one and battle with this one and get with this one. We're here to show that we need to get closer to God and allow the Lord to reveal the Word to us and find where our children have lacked revelation. Praying for them that they get revelation. And you yourself need revelation in your life. Because without it, you're going to go straight to hell. And babbler is no better. Brother, raise a witness of this. Talk to one of those men, and they don't even let you talk. They just are babbling and babbling and babbling and babbling and talking and talking and talking. They just don't even say anything. And these are the ones that these people are under. They sent me a picture. I had no plans to say this thing, but I have to say it. Somebody gave me a picture, and I saw 4 of our boys around this big man that's a supposed to be an expert against cults. They don't go away. They didn't go away and say, we just don't believe the message and we don't understand the message, so we're going to leave. No. They're out there calling people up, calling this one. I'm going to be leaving. This and the other. The prophet is wrong. The prophet did say things wrong. I want to go to college. I want to go do this. I want to go do that. And running everybody down as much as they can. This is what they're doing. They don't leave it like that. They don't leave out and say, well, I'm going to go. No, they go there. So they went and got this, supposed to be a real outstanding, it says on there that they're so grateful to have this great opportunity to be able to talk to this so-called expert on cults and so forth. All he is a backslidden man that wasn't even a minister or nothing in Brother Eddie Biscoe's church. And he talked to Brother Ray, and Brother Ray asked him to show whether we are called. And he said, well, you have the characteristics of it. He said, what is it? He said, you are closed. Now, he's told a lot of things. He said, you have a closed church. You don't allow nobody to come to your church. It's just you people, and that's it. Brother Ray said, we're a missionary church. We've had people coming from everywhere, coming from different places to our church and everything. People can come and go the way they want to. Well, he says, and then he says, you preach from the pulpit and you say things about people. And the Bible says, mark those that cause division.
Right.
The Bible says that.
That's right.
And he said, well, yeah. And then he proceeded to babble and say, Brother Branham is a false prophet. Brother Branham was wrong here, was wrong there. Just running Brother Branham down. That's all what his thing was. He wasn't interested in whether we were a cult or not a cult or nothing. He was just wanting to show that Brother Branham was wrong. He just wanted to run Brother Branham down. And that to me is satanic. That's the devil wanting to run him down, because then that will hurt the message. But it won't hurt it for us, because it become a revelation to our souls and to our hearts. And then they write on there that we have a vicious doctrine. And we've heard people, like some of they say, they don't want to talk to Brother Isaac because he heard them. And the ones that say that, I've never even had a conversation with them ever. But I heard them. No, the Word heard him when I was preaching. The Word heard him. He won't call us brothers. He won't call you demon possessed, and you ran away, you see. And I started to say, when I saw that picture, it reminded me immediately. When I was coming down my driveway, and I saw a big rattlesnake, and there was a couple of little quails, and he had him hypnotized. And the snake had him like this, and they were like that. And when I saw them, I just blew my horn. And when I did it got away their attention away from them. And those two little quails just flew away as fast as they could. And I ran over him. And that's a picture that I saw with that man, the babbler, demon possessed. And the boys were just like, with the mouth open, looking at him almost. Just looking over there. I don't say verbally or naturally with the mouth open, but they were just like looking at him. Caught up with what he was saying. And all he talks about is running Brother Branham down. Talk about false prophet, talk this and that. They have no scriptures to show anything.
Okay, so that was Isaac Noriega, 27 April, and the sermon is entitled 21st Century Sorcery. That's the audio that you'll be able to find on my Google Drive. That's the sermon that those clips or those extracts were taken from, is the 27th of April. What's interesting to me is there's a lot of message churches. We receive a lot of clips from people and we go through them, and message ministers say things over their pulpit, and you hear a lot of reaction or a lot of participation in churches across the United States and all over the world where we receive these video clips from. In this, it's interesting to me that at Golden Dawn, apparently, that sort of reaction or that sort of response to the pastor is almost totally absent. And when you listen to that clip, you don't hear a lot of amening. You don't hear a lot of people pulling, in the message because they're excited to hear it. But that's just an aside. That's just a comment. At any rate, wanted to give that to you today as an update. That should clarify a couple of things for you, Ray. Golly, I sure hope you guys come to the decision that would make it a lot easier for everybody and just invite us to come to Tucson. We'd love to do that just so we can hear Isaac over the pulpit say that the ministry knows those things which have been said regarding sexual allegations, prison terms, kidnapping people at Golden Dawn, that he knows those things not to be true, and that the ministry knows those things not to be true. So just wanted to give you a heads up or an update on where we were. When we get more information like this, or when we get additional information, we'll certainly be letting you know. So anyway, God bless you. Hope everybody's having a great month. We'll look forward to talking to you again with our regularly scheduled video, which I wanted to produce today, but we'll push that off for a couple of days to give you an opportunity to rest up from all of this video dump. But we really appreciate you guys taking the time to listen, and God bless you. We'll look forward to talking to you again now. Bye-bye.